Welcome back once again. This is Commander Trium. That is my cat. She probably should have the rank of co-commander or lieutenant or something. Lieutenant Kitty. But for now, we are joining the game once again in our Python. We did log in briefly earlier this afternoon, and I had to pick up a new vehicle to replace one that was stolen last week. And this moon, oh, they might have fixed that bug. Time will tell. And let's see what this fellow thinks. Be around at the moment. Okay.
Frameshift drive charging. 4, 3, 2, 1.
Doesn't look like he's around, but as you can see from this, there is a lot more diversity in the planetscape that we are greeted with when we visit a planet, and it looks even more realistic than it did before. I'm not sure that the whole thing was worth 2 years worth of waiting. But what do I know about programming a 3D interface of this sort? Not very much, actually, despite the fact that I am actually a programmer professionally. Okay. This is going to be another dark one. And we're in the glide path on our way to the final search zone for a escape pod mission. We're performing a rescue operation. Okay. And with that, we'll deploy our lone Nessa early and go raid the supply cache.
Low gravity warning.
There's a pile of dirt here and some rocks. And an occupied escape pod.
Warning. You have entered a trespass zone. Cargo scoop deployed. Incoming mission critical message. Trespass zone cleared. Chassis integrity compromised.
Now it seems, well, we can do the high jump over top of this thing, so
Chassis integrity compromised.
well, it seems these are lawful skimmers, so I'm going to have to be a little bit careful. Oh, there's a stinger.
You have entered a trespass zone. Trespass zone cleared.
Let's see here.
Warning. You have entered a trespass zone. Trespass zone cleared. Warning. You have entered a trespass zone. Trespass zone cleared.
Well,
Warning. You have entered a trespass zone. Cargo hold at maximum capacity. Trespass zone cleared. Warning. You have entered a trespass zone. Trespass zone cleared. Warning. You have entered a trespass zone. zone cleared.
Well, for now, let's go put these things over here.
Handbrake is on. Trespass zone cleared. Warning, you have entered a trespass zone. Trespass zone cleared. Compromised. Chassis integrity critical.
Well, that isn't good at all. %.
Handbrake is on. Check recalled.
Okay. Illicit cargo. Where we got it? Illicit.
Scan detected. Frameshift drive charging.
Ramtar searching for new Guardian sites. The engineer, Ramtar, a leading expert on the mysterious Guardians, has requested help in locating undiscovered sites from the ancient alien race. He has issued the following statement. The artifacts recently delivered to me have been subjected to intense molecular analysis. As a result, I have deduced the possibility of Guardian sites in 3 specific systems. Col 173, Sector QUOD 625, HD 63154, and Sanuf, EUQC 2110. I urge the galactic community to investigate these systems, where I believe we may find further traces of the Guardian's ancient civilization. I appreciate that this could be a wild goose chase, but data from such sites, if they exist, would be extremely valuable. Ramtar has asked that any data be delivered to him at Phoenix Base in the main system. Thargoids targeting Aegis laboratories. Analytical reports released by Aegis have confirmed a pattern to the Thargoids' recent starboard attacks, which have left thousands dead and infrastructures crippled. Admiral Aiden Tanner, Aegis's chief military liaison, made this statement. We have identified that the Thargoids are specifically targeting starports, where Aegis laboratories are established. These include Titan's daughter in the Taygeta system, Lehman Legacy in HIP 16753, and the Oracle in the Pleiades sector IIWD 155. In conjunction with local security services and system authorities, we are increasing defensive measures at all starports, where Aegis has a presence. Professor Albert Tesro, the organization's chief scientific advisor, voiced additional concerns. Aegis research centers were set up to increase our understanding of the Thargoids, so it's clear they're attempting to prevent us investigating their technology and artifacts. Naturally, we'll take precautions, but I can only wonder what a long-term solution might be. Will we have to establish laboratories in secret locations, such as bunkers or asteroids? Aegis's work is critical. Only through knowledge might we establish a real relationship with the species. Federal initiative concludes. The Federation has announced that the Bulwark project has reached a successful conclusion. Scores of pilots supported the campaign by delivering commodities to Jandok. These will be used to research the possibility of an automated federal defense force. As the campaign drew to a close, Federal Shadow President Felicia Winters released a statement. My sincere gratitude goes to those who supported this campaign. But I want to remind you that we are still some way from a fully automated defense force. The Bulwark project's initial remit is simply to establish the economic and military feasibility of such an enterprise.
Orbital flight engaged.
Meanwhile, opponents have continued to voice concerns that it could lead to the development of artificial intelligence, which is outlawed throughout the galaxy. Pilots who contributed to the initiative can now collect their rewards from Jandok in the Momoy Rent system. Anti-Thargoid operation. Following the success of last month's Federal Imperial operation in the HIP 17692 system, the two superpowers have once again joined forces to combat the Thargoids. This time, the operation will focus on the Pleiades Sector OITC-37 and Aratis Sector XEZB4 systems, where large concentrations of Thargoid ships have been reported. The purpose of the two-pronged operation is to reduce the Thargoid presence in Pleiades Sector OIT.
Delacey, Tango, Romeo, India. Follow correct procedures before attempting to dock at this port.
EC-37 and to recover black boxes and personal effects from Thargoid attack sites in Aratis Sector XEZB4. The former initiative is being
automated approach engaged.
Overseen by the Merope Expeditionary Fleet, while the latter is being coordinated by the Pleiades Resource Enterprise.
Landing gear deployed.
Pilots who support these operations will be eligible for substantial rewards. Admiral Denton Patrias launched the campaign with the following statement. We know that militias of experienced combat pilots are particularly effective against them.
Landing completed. Deactivating docking systems. Welcome to our starport.
Thargoids, but we must not be complacent. Our enemies are formidable, and we underestimate them at our peril. The campaign begins on the 22nd of February 3304, and will run for 1 week. If the final target is met earlier than planned, the campaign will end immediately. Generation ships. Continuing our popular series on significant episodes from human history, noted historian Simacalhana discusses generation ships. Before the development of faster-than-light travel, colonizing distant star systems was a profoundly difficult proposition. For the people of the 21st century, the answer was the generation ship. These vast interstellar arcs, equipped with everything needed to sustain human life, were crewed by multiple successive generations, pioneers who were born, lived, and died aboard a starship. The first generation ship was launched in 2097, and in the centuries that followed, many more set off into the vastness of space. Most of these ambitious expeditions were funded by large corporations, and the penalties for interfering with them were severe, given the enormous cost of mobilizing them. At the time of writing,
Incoming message.
there are believed to be somewhere in the region of 70,000 generation ships coursing through the galaxy. The approximate location of most of these ships has been calculated, but not all are accounted for. Many of the corporations that funded the original generation ships have now been dissolved, or assimilated by other organizations, so it is difficult to determine exactly who is responsible for some of these vessels. It has been theorized that some of the original generation ships may soon reach their destinations, but since not all of those destinations are known, it is entirely possible that they could have been colonized while the generation ships were in transit. We can only hope the powers that be have a contingency strategy for such a scenario. The origin of the Pilots Federation. Continuing our popular series on significant episodes from human history, noted historian Simacalhana discusses the foundation of the Pilots Federation. The Pilots Federation was established in 2805, in response to a surge in private starship ownership. It was created principally to allow pilots to share reliable trade route information, and to provide them with a system of mutual protection against the rising scourge of interstellar piracy. At the time, independent pilots were generally mistrusted, the itinerant nature of their profession giving rise to perceptions of irresponsibility. The Pilots Federation's strict code of conduct puts an end to this, and over time a galaxy-wide respect for its members emerged. As piracy became more prevalent, the Pilots Federation started issuing bounties on known pirate vessels. Some of those outside the organization condemned the initiative as bloodthirsty, but few were able to argue with the impact it had on piracy. Shortly thereafter, the Pilots Federation introduced an official ranking system to reflect the number of combat victories achieved by each of its members. Pilots who accumulated the largest number of kills were awarded the title of Elite, a citation that became highly coveted among independent pilots. The Pilots Federation derives the bulk of its wealth from the Galnet data network. Originally a system of ship bounty and star chart data, it evolved into an interstellar aggregator of market information and galactic news. By 3300, the Pilots Federation was not only the dominant provider of this information, it was also the main manufacturer of the hardware and software serving this data. Today, Pilots Federation systems are fitted as standard on virtually all independent starships. In 3290, the Pilots Federation expanded its ranking system to encompass the fields of trade and exploration. In 3301 it expanded it again, to include pilots who had distinguished themselves in the close quarters combat championships. The Pilots Federation has always remained politically neutral, avowing that it exists to support pilots, rather than nationalities or political factions. The organization is based in the Shinrata Desra system, which can be accessed only by invitation. Receiving an invitation is typically dependent on achieving a high rank in the Pilots Federation. This stipulation has contributed to perceptions of the organization as secretive, a perception compounded by the fact that the Pilots Federation has very little direct interaction with the public. Hyperspace. Continuing our popular series on significant episodes from human history, noted historian Simacalhana discusses the development of the hyperdrive. Hyperspace technology originated in the early 22nd century, but it wasn't until the 2800s that consumer ships began to take advantage of it. The first commercially available hyperspace system was known as the Faraway Jump. The faraway system was far from perfect, however, depending on a complex network of monitoring satellites, branch lines, stop points, and rescue stations, which took hundreds of years to establish, to operate smoothly. It was around this time the phrase "which space" first appeared, reflecting the inherent dangers of early hyperspace technology, and the strange corridor a ship traveled through during a hyperspace jump. Some even believed which space was haunted by ghosts of ships that went into far away and didn't come out again. It is certainly true that a number of ships never reached their destinations. The original hyperdrives were powered by a fuel known as Trrium, the formula for which was a closely guarded secret. When this formula was lost, the hyperspace industry suffered a major setback. A number of different drives strove to fill the void left by the Trrium drives, but it was the Type 2B that proved most popular. Unfortunately, ships equipped with a 2B left behind a hyperspace cloud at their entry and exit points, making it all too easy for malcontents to track and ambush these vessels. In the late 3290s, a new hyperspace system emerged that immediately rendered the Type 2B obsolete. Jump times were reduced to mere seconds, as they had been with Trrium drives, without any loss in jump range. Journeys that had hitherto been considered unfeasible were now within the realms of possibility. Even today, hyperspace remains poorly understood. Many pilots have reported glimpsing inexplicable lights, and even structures, within the witch space tunnels. It may be centuries before all of its mysteries are unraveled. The origin of the Alliance. In a return to our popular series on significant episodes from human history, noted historian Simakalhana discussed.
That's interesting. There's some hints back to earlier versions of Elite in the hyperspace cloud phenomenon, which has now been reduced to a simple wake, and you need wake scanner technology. Before, you would use the hyperspace cloud analyzer technology to take the Trrium drives and analyze the hyperspace cloud. While it may have sounded easy originally to chase pilots through a hyperspace cloud, it really bore not really that substantial a difference with the current weight scanner technology. You still had to, you would emerge from their hyperspace cloud on the other side, and of course by that point they would have exited hyperspace at their destination and been potentially millions of kilometers away, and you'd have to chase them down much as you do today. At any rate, completed our missions in this part of the galaxy, so we're going to move on to a different part, one that is coming due. And will allow us to examine any possible changes to the power play. We're 2 jumps away. We have to go through the Ogawan system, Enjabog system, and then we will arrive at our destination, which will be the Oikomas system, and there we have to recover some artwork. So let's get on that.
Ship disengaged. Please leave when ready.
Cargo scoop retracted.
quite a bit of differentiation here in terms of planetary dust. Could be a clay or perhaps an orthoclase there.
Port perimeter exceeded. Good luck, Commander.
Why I'm not able to raise any of these contacts on my list tonight, I don't know. They're not responding.
Call unsuccessful.
So, is that an active decline or perhaps a passive one?
Frameshift drive charging. 4, 3, 2, 1. Frameshift drive charging.
In my mind, this game needs to be played with VR really to have the full experience, but perhaps not everyone agrees. Certainly there's no major disadvantage from what I can see.
Frameshift drive charging.
Structures in here, eh? Maybe Thargoid spaceships, but of course that's a hint as to how they want to incorporate the Thargoids going forward. Perhaps there'll be a detente in the war effort at some point. Looks like peace with the Thargoids might be on the table.
Charging.
Wow. .5 Earth masses, .1 Earth masses, .2 Earth masses. Actually, we should go in here and have a look and see what oh, we have 2.4% arsenic on that moon. That's probably one of the nearer sites for arsenic that we have got available. Alliance Chieftain wanted, and we're going after her. See, she's coming after us momentarily. Here it comes. shields are almost down.
Target shields offline. Impulse attack. Trajectory disruption. Under attack. Target shields online. Target shields offline. Shields offline. Warning. Temperature critical. Taking damage. Target destroyed. Scan detected. Shields online. Programming limpet drone. Programming limpet drone. Cargo scoop deployed. Collector limpet expired. Programming limpet drone. Frameshift drive charging.
Romeo, India. Comms link established. Please approach the station at a safe speed and give way to larger vessels, Commander. Reports of heavy traffic around this facility. Please take care.
Flight assist off.
5,000 meters from touchdown. Automated docking approved. You may now hand over control.
Landing gear deployed.
Yes.
Incoming mission critical message.
Landing couple of disengaged. You are clear to leave. You have cleared the no-fire zone. Have a safe trip, Commander.
Frameshift drive charging.
This is the foundation of the Alliance. The Alliance made you. Appear the ideals of harmony and independence, but it is very much the product of violence. Alioth, the Alliance power base, was once a highly contested system. In the decades that followed its colonization, it was the site of almost constant conflict between the Federation and the Empire. Naturally, this made life difficult for the system's inhabitants, whose lives were impacted by generation after generation of war. The turning point came in 3228, when the federal corporations supplying one of Alioth's main population centers attempted to raise prices. This triggered a revolt. Federal and Imperial forces were dispatched to quell the uprising, but the resistance, bolstered by fighters from neighboring independent systems, successfully repelled them. Ultimately, the Empire chose to withdraw from the system, reluctant to commit to a potentially protracted campaign far from its center of power. When the Federation realized how unpopular the war had become among Federal citizens, it followed suit. In the wake of the conflict, the idea of an independent socio-political body rapidly gained popularity among the people of Alioth, and in 3230 the Alliance of Independent Systems was established. Its founding principles were simple: to protect and support those who wanted to remain independent of the Federation and the Empire, and to empower its member systems while simultaneously preserving their independence. Over the next 2 decades, more than 20 systems joined the Alliance. Today, the Alliance is widely seen as a paragon of democracy in an increasingly autocratic galaxy. It is governed by a body known as the Alliance Assembly, the primary function of which is to establish common policies and treaties among the Alliance's member systems, and act as an arbitration body when necessary. The notional head of the Assembly is the Prime Minister, but in reality it is the Council of Admirals that wields the greatest degree of power.
The It's interesting, it sounds very much like a competitor sim. Type 10 Defender, but it's not, it's throttling to 0 and submitting. Oh my god!
Limpet drone error. Deploy cargo hatch. Cargo scoop deployed. Programming limpet drone. Programming limpet drone.
closing. Request approved. Cleared for landing on pad 20. Automated docking.
Landing gear deployed. Incoming mission critical message.
Docking complete. Engaging docking restraints. Greetings, Commander.
Incoming message.
Excuse me for just a moment. I think it's mineral extractors we're after here. Mineral extractors. Yes, it is. Well, that's interesting. This is a new feature of Beyond. It looks like we can trade in materials now that we may need for various engineering upgrades. Of course, they come in classes: alloys, crystals, composites, shielding, capacitors, basic conductors, heat, chemical,
we advise commanders to be aware of your speed whilst in and around the starport.
tempered alloys, precipitated alloys, thermic. Extractors 27 and 18. So you have 45 mineral extractors.
To extend to all visitors. Please ensure you complete docking procedures within the allocated time.
Terminal 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Livery Cova Severity. I'm not ready to give up the Python. Sorry, guys. Okay, so what do we got here?
Cargo hold at maximum capacity. maximum capacity.
Explosives and synthetic reagents.
This is a message to all commanders. Please reduce your speed when maneuvering your ship inside the docking bay.
Detachment complete. Exit the station quickly and safely.
This is a flight regulations document. Please do not observe the
Frameshift drive charging.
The Council
Clear of the station. We hope to see you again, Commander.
of Admirals is a six-person body.
3, 2.
Comprising the leaders of the six largest military forces in the Alliance. In addition to selecting the Prime Minister, the Council also commands the Alliance Defense Force, a vast flotilla of ships contributing to the Alliance's member systems. The Council of Admirals is free to deploy the Defense Force without the approval of the Assembly, making it extremely powerful. There can be no argument that the Alliance lacks the power projection abilities of the Empire and the Federation. but it is more than capable of competing with them in economic and political terms, and of defending its member systems when necessary. What the future holds remains to be seen, but under the strong leadership of Prime Minister Edmund Mahon, it seems likely the alliance will only continue to grow.
Romeo, India. Please comply with flight regulations as you approach the station, Commander. Landing permitted. Sit down on landing pad 08.
Landing gear deployed.
Contact. Commence system shutdown. Report to station services for more information, Commander.
have to offload some of these lipids.
Flight controllers are in operation at this starport. Please obey speed restrictions and fly safely.
Oh, for God's sake! Oh.
Cargo scoop deployed.
Detach confirmed. Departure authorized.
Cargo scoop retracted.
Request denied. Request approved. Set down on landing pad 3-8. You are clear of the station. Have a safe trip, Commander. You are clear for automated approach, Commander.
Landing gear deployed.
Meters from touchdown.
We are going to buy a ship that is capable.
Security services respond to
Landing complete. Dispatching ground crew. Welcome, Commander.
This will enable us to shuttle ourselves out to wherever we want in the bubble fairly quickly. Of course, this is a much smaller ship. Holy crap. It's tiny. I'm used to having a bridge around me here. Oh, we need to upgrade the ship now. Okay, we don't have a lot here, but let's see what we can do. It's a 420-ton vessel, fairly compact. Look at the ship's hard points. Ooh. Burst lasers, rail guns, missiles, cannons, fragment cannons. Cannons, let's see here. Maximum range 3 kilometers, thermal load 7.9 damage per second. Pulse laser gimbal is actually better. Well, let's see how this does, what it does for us right now. 2F pulse laser, eh? Hang on a second. Let's go back here. Pulse laser. Round shot. Uh-huh. 2F burst laser. The top-mounted Class 3 fragment cannon. Worth almost as much as the ship. Well, okay. You can probably get a better fragment cannon somewhere else, but fuel with core internals or E-reactive plant. Well, first of all, we need to upgrade this to a D. No, we'll go with this 3A power plant. D power plant 16.73. It's 3A. Probably go bigger. Like that'll do for now. Or the thrusters. Nope. Let's take the 4D thrusters. Frame shift drive is 5 feet. I'll have to wait on that one. Power distributor. Again, I'll have to wait. Let's see here, environment control. for class 4. For a thrusters and for a deep power. What else? For DA power distributor. Just a minute, I'll be right back. Come on. God almighty.
Rise horse to the Dothraki.
Which you turned to your advantage.
Who gave the order to kill me?
King Robert.
Why the assassins? Who sent word to Essos to murder Daenerys Targaryen?
Grace, I did what had to be done.
To keep yourself alive.
Lord Varys has proven himself a loyal servant.
Proven himself loyal, quite the opposite. If he dislikes one monarch, he conspires to crown the next one. What kind of servant is that?
The kind the realm needs. Incompetence should not be rewarded with blind loyalty. As long as I have my eyes, I'll use them. I wasn't born into a great house. I came from nothing. I was sold as a slave, carved up as an offering. When I was a child, I lived in alleys, gutters, abandoned houses. You wish to know where my true loyalties lie? Not with any king or queen, but with the people. The people who suffer under despots and prosper under just rule. The people whose hearts you aim to win. If you demand blind allegiance, I respect your wishes. Grey One can behead me, or your dragons can devour me. But if you let me live, I will serve you well. I will dedicate myself to seeing you on the Iron Throne, because I choose you. Because I know that people have no better chance than you.
Swear this to me, Varys. If you ever think I'm failing the people, you won't conspire behind my back. You'll look me in the eyes, you have done today, and you'll tell me how I'm failing them.
I swear it, my queen.
And I swear this. If you ever betray me, I'll burn you alive.
I would expect nothing less from the Mother of Dragons.
Forgive me, my queen. A red priestess from Ashai has come to see you.
Darus Daenerys, the Hairi Rosistin, Cindy Daliorta, Kilunta Osbarta, Riklos e Belmont, Projatus Shreina.
Meli voctrisi mirenilix mes ferdagon vendis. Que sir treje je jurelax. Scorosso gemele brosia?
Melisandros et Rosix.
She once served another who wanted the Iron Throne. It didn't end well for Stannis Baratheon, did it?
No, it didn't.
You chose an auspicious day to arrive at Dragonstone. We've just decided to pardon those who once served the wrong king. The Lord of Light doesn't have many followers in Westeros, does he?
Not yet. But even those who don't worship the Lord can serve his cause.
What does your Lord expect from me?
Vossus bantis amasis, mericivio dolalaris, os machagon contas.
The prince who is promised will bring the dawn. I'm afraid I'm not a prince.
Your Grace, forgive me, but your translation is not quite accurate. That noun has no gender in High Valyrian, so the proper translation for that prophecy would be the prince or princess who was promised will bring the dawn.
Doesn't really roll off the tongue, does it?
No, but I like it better. And you believe this prophecy refers to me?
Prophecies are dangerous things. I believe you have a role to play. As does another. The king in the north, Jon Snow.
Jon Snow. Ned Stark's bastard.
You know him?
I travelled with him to the war when he joined the Night's Watch.
And why do you think the Lord of Light singled out this Jon Snow, aside from the visions you've seen in the Flames, that is?
As the Lord Commander of the Night's Watch, he allowed the wildlings south of the wall to protect them from great danger. As King in the North, he has united those wildlings with the northern houses, so together they may face their common enemy.
He sounds like quite a man.
Summon Jon Snow. Let him stand before you and tell you the things that have happened to him. The things that he has seen with his own eyes.
I can't speak to prophecies or visions in the Flames, but I like Jon Snow and I trusted him. And I am an excellent judge of character. If he does rule the North, he would make a valuable ally. The Lannisters executed his father and conspired to murder his brother. Jon Snow has even more reason to hate Cersei than you do.
Very well. Send a raven north. Tell Jon Snow that his queen invites him to come to Dragonstone. And bend the knee.
Go around. Come here.
I think it's really Tyrion. It could be someone trying to lure you into a trap.
Read the last bit.
All dwarves are bastards in their father's eyes. What does that mean?
It's something he said to me the first night we met. You know him better than any of us. What do you think?
Tyrion's not like the other Lannisters. He's always kind to me, but it's too great a risk. The 7 kingdoms will bleed as long as Cersei sits on the Iron Throne. Join us. Together we can end her tyranny.
Sounds like a charter. What's the casual mention of a Dothraki horde, a legion of unsullied and 3 dragons? A bit less charming. What? Fire kills waits, you told me. What breathes fire?
You're not suggesting Jon meet with her.
Too dangerous. What? What if the army of the dead makes it past the wall? Do we have enough men to fight them?
If the Mad King's daughter takes the Iron Throne, she'll destroy the realm as we know it. Some of you are bannermen of House Tyrell, but House Tyrell is in open rebellion against the crown. With their help, the Mad King's daughter has ferried an army of savages to our shores. Mindless, unsullied soldiers who will destroy your castles and your holdfasts. Dothraki heathens who will burn your villages to the ground, rape and enslave your women, and butcher your children without a second thought. This is how Olenna Tyrell rewards centuries of service and loyalty. You all remember the Mad King. You remember the horrors he inflicted upon his people. His daughter is no different. In Essos, her brutality is already legendary. She crucified hundreds of noblemen in Slaver's Bay. And when she grew bored of that, she fed them to her dragons. It is my solemn duty to protect the people, and I will, but I need your help, my lords. We must stand together, all of us, if we hope to stop her.
She has 3 full-grown dragons, Your Grace. The same as Aegon when he conquered the 7 kingdoms. How do you propose to stop them?
We are currently at work on a solution, my lord.
Lord Tarly. Sir Jaime. I believe you know my son. Sir Jaime. Rickard, isn't it? Diggle. That's it. Thank you for coming. The other lords of the region look to you for guidance now more than ever. They might not have come if you hadn't. If my queen summons me, I answer the call. And I've heard what she does to those who defy her.
You ride for Hornhill today?
have an army to mobilize. Not long before the fighting starts.
Which side will you be fighting for? You were the only man to defeat Robert Baratheon in battle, not even Rhaegar Targaryen.
It's a long ride back to the Reach City. How may I serve?
I want you to be my ranking general in the wars to come. I want you to swear allegiance to Cersei, and I want you to help me destroy her enemies. All her enemies.
Including Elena Tyrell. I'm a Tarly. That name means something. They're not oathbreakers, not schemers. Once there are rivals in the battle, cut their throats at Whittings. I swore an oath to House Tyrell.
You swore an oath to the crown as well, Lord Tarly.
I've known Elena since I was a child.
She was a great woman once. Now she's broken. She wants revenge so badly she brought the Dothraki to our shores. The Dothraki in Westeros for the first time in history. I don't like my sister, but you have to make a choice. Do you fight with us, or with foreign savages and eunuchs? When the war is won, the Queen will need a new Warden of the South. I can think of no better man than Randall Tarly.
The infection has spread too far. You should have cut off your arm the moment you were touched.
How long?
Years before it kills you. You 10, you 20.
And how long until?
Your mind? 6 months. Maybe fewer.
Pardon, Archmaester. I met Stannis Baratheon's daughter at Castle Black. She had the grayscale as a baby and was cured. Now, isn't there some way?
Does this look like a baby to you?
No.
Have you studied the varying rates of grayscale progression in infants and fully grown men?
No.
Mr. Crescent discovered Shireen Baratheon's affliction immediately. This is quite advanced. And beyond our skills. Were you a commoner, I'd have you shipped to Valyria at once to live out your life with the Stone Men. As an anointed knight, I'll allow you one more day. How you choose to spend that time is up to you. Come, Savo.
Should we send word to your families?
Jorah. Jorah moment.
Moment?
There's no need. I've been dead to them for years.
Come, Samuel. Have you ever been down here, Greg?
No, I can't say I have. I haven't seen these since Robert had them removed from the throne room.
Curious that King Robert did not have them destroyed.
They were his trophies. He couldn't keep them around, they would have made him look small. Sometimes he would come down here and look at them. I believe he brought his halls on occasion.
Valerion the Dread. The beast of Aegon rode across the sea. His flames forged the Iron Throne and brought the Seven Kingdoms to Eor. Powerful, but not invincible. Apparently, one of Daenerys' dragons was wounded by spears in the fighting pits of Meereen. wounded, they can be killed. The finest artilators and blacksmiths in King's Landing have been laboring day and night, Your Grace. If you kindly pull that lever.
If you want the Iron Throne, take it. We have an army, a fleet, and 3 dragons. We should hit King's Landing now, hard, with everything we have. The city will fall within a day.
If we turn the dragons loose, tens of thousands will die in the firestorm.
It's called war. You don't have the stomach for it. Scurry back into hiding.
I know how you wage war. We don't poison little girls here. Marcella was innocent.
She was a Lannister. There are no innocent Lannisters. My greatest regret is that Oberyn died fighting for you.
That's enough. If Tyrion is hand of the Queen, you will treat him with respect. I am not here to be Queen of the Ashes.
That's very nice to hear. Of course, I can't remember a queen who was better loved than my granddaughter. The common people loved her. The nobles loved her. What is left of her now? Ashes. Commoners, nobles, they're all just children, really. They won't obey you unless they fear you.
I'm grateful to you, Lady Olenna, for your counsel. I'm grateful to all of you. But you have chosen to follow me. I will not attack King's Landing. We will not attack King's Landing.
Then how do you mean to take the Iron Throne? By asking nicely?
We will lay siege to the capital surrounding the city on all sides. Cersei will have the Iron Throne, but no food for her army or the people.
But we won't use Dothraki and Unsullied. Cersei will try to rally the lords of Westeros by appealing to their loyalty, their love for their country. If we besiege the city with foreigners, we prove her point. Our army should be Westerosi.
And I suppose we are providing the Westerosi.
You are. Lady Greyjoy will escort you home to Sunspear. And her Iron Fleet will ferry the Dornish army back up to King's Landing. The Dornish will lay siege to the capital, alongside the Tyrell army, 2 great kingdoms united against Cersei.
So, your master plan is to use our armies. Forgive me for asking, but why did you bother to bring your own?
The Unsullied will have another objective. For decades, House Lannister has been the true power of Westeros, and the seat of that power is Casterly Rock. Grey Worm and the Unsullied will sail for the Rock and take it.
Do I have your support? You have mine.
Dorne is with you, Your Grace.
Thank you. Lady Olenna, may I speak with you alone?
I realize you're here out of hatred for Cersei and not love for me. But I swear to you, she will pay for what she's done. And we will bring peace back to Westeros.
Peace. Do you think that's what we had under your father? Or his father? Or his? Peace never lasts, my dear. Will you take a bit of advice from an old woman? He's a clever man, your hand. I've known a great many clever men. I've outlived them all. You know why? I ignored them. The lords of Westeros are sheep. Are you a sheep? No. You're a dragon. Be a dragon.
Margie?
Apologies for the delay there. This is Commander Trium back once again in the pilot seat, such as it is. Okay. We've made our list. We've got our specifications. We now are going to switch back. We got here. Still cannot, for the life of me. Oh my goodness, the whistling's bad today.
Is it bad now?
No, no difference. It's just something I'll have to deal with, I guess. But I thought I'd mention I'm still in the vicinity of the capital, for Pandava Antal, and I'm probably going to have to stay here at least until the next update, after which I will probably undertake a Guardian mission or two. We never found out what the purpose was of the Guardian, what's the word I'm looking for? The Guardian teaser that seemed to be in the last update video from Frontier prior to the release of the Beyond update. And I'm wondering if you heard anything further on that.
Did you play any of the betas?
Sorry?
Did you play any of the beta?
No.
I didn't either. The beta, however you pronounce it. I would call it beta here.
Well, it's beta for me as well.
I figured I'll go out there and I'll have a pilot or two film me. But I figured it was worth a try.
I'm sorry, I really can't hear you over this whistling. It's just too loud. It's as if there's something in the background, but I thought I would let you know what my plans were anyway.
Okay.
And ask about the beta. So if you do have any clue as to what they might have been referring to about the Guardians in the beta, I'd expected there to be a couple more map tokens than there proved to be in this release. So hopefully we'll hear about something more about that in the near future.
Completely off. It's up at all. It's just this way.
Okay, that disappeared for a second. There was no whistling.
Is it back?
It's back now.
Okay, I only had the headphones on. They're unplugged, so it's not the headphones. It's something else. Alright. Well, I'll keep trying to debug this mission. Maybe I'll figure it out.
Okay.
Alright, man. Talk to you later. I don't want to
Talk to you later.
Alright, see you.
I just cannot deal with that.
Hello, Commander. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. So, I was just curious. It looks to me like you might be engaging in one of the Guardian missions that was mentioned in the recent news update, GNN Galnet news update.
That is accurate. Yes, sir.
So,
I'm actually...
What have you found so far?
Well, first, I winged up with a few commanders out here, and it's a good thing we have because we found a pretty big site here. It's unlike anything else that we've seen so far. And not just that, but there are Guardian Sentinel skimmers here that are attacking us, basically.
Really?
So yeah, we've been dealing with that right now. I still got one more here that I need to take out.
Okay,
So yeah, it's actually a bit more exciting.
I'm going to pull you up on the, you can just hang there for a minute. I'm going to pull you up on the galaxy map again. I'm going to bookmark your current location. Let's see here. Where the hell are you? Oh, there you are. You're out by Regulus? No. No. Not Kigana. There you are. Yeah, I've been out in that area before, but I didn't encounter any Guardian stuff in the since before the update. But now that I've located you...
Hold on. Something's happening.
Okay.
An energy pylon is charging. Should we, hold on. Let me get with my wing here. Should we evacuate? There's a timer now on our screen. I'm a little nervous. Hold on. Where's my ship? Where's my ship? I'm sorry, what were you saying?
I'm just trying to figure out. Okay, so what have you detected out there? You've got an energy pylon?
Yeah, countdown timer has just appeared on my HUD, and something is activating. Oh, they're charging pylons out there. Oh, okay, I'm sorry. See, I'm not even paying attention to what the other commanders are doing. They're busy with the puzzle, and it looks like every time they do a correct combination, the timer resets and lets them have more time, yeah. So maybe that's what it is.
Okay.
Well, just freaking out for no reason.
It must be possible to do with one ship, I'm sure, but that being said, I don't see any community goals out there. I don't think they would be. I did get some more, I did get another Guardian mission though from Ramka. And I have about a week to turn in some materials from that. So, now of course, as per the news article, he is asking commanders for salvage from that Guardian site you're at, specifically. So it would be nice to be able to come back into the bubble with that. But unfortunately, all I've got is an ASP Explorer with about 20 light-year jump capacity.
Oh.
And because I've got lots of equipment on it. Well, you kind of need equipment if you're going to go prospecting and digging through archaeological sites. You need to have like an SRV and a couple of other things.
Good Lord. Yeah.
I have a Diamondback Explorer, but it's not really upgraded properly yet. Otherwise, I could make it out there probably a little faster. I could probably get it up to the 25 light-year mark per jump, and then use a White Dwarf or some other, or the Neutron Superhighway to get out there. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, whatever you gotta do. How long do you think it'd take you to get out here?
Well, it won't happen tonight. Today was sort of a write-off for me. I had an insurance settlement that I had to do on top of a couple of other things. I had to go grocery shopping and whatever. So it was I'm between contracts right now in my job, and and I'm actually trying to get out of contracting, and I'm waiting for interview results on at least 2 fronts. On 2 contracts and 1 permanent job opportunity I was interviewed for last week, but I won't be able to call them until later on this week and ask if they want another interview or what exactly the next step would be if they wanted to proceed. So, don't know yet, but we will find out. We're coming up on Government of Canada. I work typically for the Government of Canada in my contracting business, so typically that'll start picking up towards anytime after mid-March through the summer is usually the busy season. So at least historically. So we'll see what luck that might bring. Yeah, anyway, I had to, settling the insurance claim, of course, meant getting a new vehicle to replace the one that was stolen from me last week. I lost a scooter.
Oh, jeez.
Someone came and stole it, so I had to buy a new one, which meant laying out $2,000 worth of cash for a new scooter at a time when I don't really want to spend money. But I've got enough resources to last me till mid-March without major crises, so after that we'll see. Anyway.
Oh, man.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Yeah, there's no community goal associated with this. It's just
right. Yeah, it's just kind of a side story, unfortunately, but...
What do you think of the Beyond update overall?
I think it's awesome. Yeah, I'm loving it, for sure.
I think it's awesome, but I don't think it necessarily we had to wait 2 years for it either.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. That's a good point.
Of course,
but,
I'm in software. I write perfect software myself, so... As you might expect, I have a little bit of a critical eye for this sort of thing. But
yeah, I gotcha. Well, I guess I'll take your word for it. I don't know.
Well, it's more complicated. It's more complicated because they're dealing with 3D. But all that should be looked at. There's a new tool released from Microsoft called Unity for Windows and the Xbox. It should make translation between the two fairly painless. But Xbox, you can't rate games for it without getting permission from Microsoft, and they don't offer it to everyone. It's kind of like PS2, right? You've got licensing and whatnot. Or Apple's the Apple Store. Everyone's got to make their money and take their cut somehow. So. Yeah,
I agree. Well, this timer is almost up. I got to figure out what we're supposed to do over here, but.
Okay, well, I'll look you up in a couple days and still see what you've discovered out there. But it's interesting that you discovered something anyway, and at least you got a system associated with it. But I guess it was mentioned in the news item, but still it's helpful to know that there's actually something there.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'll let you know, I guess, next time we're both online.
Yeah, like weekend's always a good time to catch me on here, and I'll always have internet regardless of anything because I do have a second income, but it's just not enough to cover all the bills. But I keep internet going because let's face it, I'm a software developer. I need the damn internet in order to do my trade, so can't survive without it. Anyway, we'll see you on the weekend, or maybe before if time warrants.
Okay, sounds good, man. Good talking to you.
You too. Take care.
Thanks, you too.
Right out. Bye.
Bye.
Well, we better get this mission done. It's looking like it's shaping up to be the last mission before I have to can it for this evening, given my workload. That's functioning better. Switch ships again. Actually, we should name this one. And I have a name in mind. Let's see what everyone thinks of this. Oh, we can actually select it. Pick a name from Game of Thrones here.
Greetings, Commander. This is Victor, your cockpit voice assistant.
It's 007. Which makes our next purchase double our wind. And actually, registry AR005 has not been assigned yet, so Just remembered I do have a 005. The Asp Explorer. Exifay. Launching.
Landing coupler disengaged. Restrict speed until clear of the station perimeter.
Frameshift drive charging.
You have cleared the no-fire zone. Flight control out.
Ramtar searching for new Guardian sites. The engineer, Ramtar. A leading expert on the mysterious Guardians has requested help in locating undiscovered sites from the ancient alien race. He has issued the following statement. The artifacts recently delivered to me have been subjected
Incoming mission critical message.
to intense molecular analysis. As a result, I have deduced the possibility of Guardian sites in 3 specific systems. Col 173, Sector QUOD 625, HD 63154, and Sanuev EUQC 2110. I urge the galactic community to investigate these systems, where I believe we may find further traces of the Guardian's ancient civilization. I appreciate that this could be a wild goose chase, but data from such sites, if they exist, would be extremely valuable. Ramtar has asked that any data be delivered to him at Phoenix Base in the main system.
Seems you've heard all the news items in Galnet for tonight. Now coming up on a gas giant. And this moon has its own moon as well.
Orbital flight engaged. Orbital flight engaged. Mission objective detected. Cargo scoop deployed. Programming limpet drone. Mission objective complete. Incoming mission critical message. Cargo scoop retracted. Heatsink deployed. Frameshift drive charging.
Tango, Romeo, India. Please comply with flight regulations as you approach the station, Commander. Access granted. Set down on landing pad 30. Automated docking approved. You may now hand over control.
Scan detected.
Approach is good. Maintain current heading.
Landing gear deployed.
Touchdown confirmed. Command system shut down. Enjoy your visit, Commander.
Okay, so that'll be it for tonight's session in all likelihood. Not sure actually if I'll be on later tonight or tomorrow. Check back at the YouTube site at youtube.com/AppRefactory where these videos are being accessed typically, and you'll get that information. Even better, subscribe along with Frontier Developments, who I thank, and with all the pre-existing pilots that have, and other spectators that have taken the time to subscribe to the App Refactory YouTube subsite. There you'll receive ongoing announcements and updates about these videos. You can also check ross613.wordpress.com/elite for updates related to these video flight logs, VFLs, on an ongoing basis. This is Commander Trium. Today is 28th February 3304 at 2:48 03 Zoom. Good night, everyone.